Hello, it's Friday the 26th of July and we're currently anchored just off Newquay Harbour, and that's Newquay in Cornwall. And this is part 2, as promised, of our catch-up podcast. And yeah, so where did we get to the last time?
We were just about to leave Coverack.
Coverack Cove, yeah. So we did leave Coverack, and we had intended to row against the tide down to the tip of the Lizard to catch the turn of the tide to then get around the Lizard Peninsula. However, as we were making our way down the peninsula from Coverack, we could see this wall of white water looming in the distance, and there's overfalls off the end of the Lizard Peninsula. And for those of you that don't know what overfalls are, at sea it's basically a tidal overfall where you've got a flow of tide and it hits something subsea or a headland, and it creates a wave pattern that is just horrible. There's no pattern to them. It's not like a normal wave where you can, get a sinusoidal sort of pattern. Overfalls are quite unpredictable, and they can be quite fast flowing, steep, dumping waves, so you don't really want to be in amongst that.
It's like a boiling pot of water.
Yeah.
Really good going boiling.
So we could see that in the distance, and it was literally a wall of water, so we thought, not fancying that.
Yeah, and that's for later.
We wanted to swing past Kilcoban Cove anyway, so that's down near the end of the peninsula, and I know one of the guys there who's actually there covering at the moment, that used to be the full-time coxswain there, and we popped by the slipway at the lifeboat station in Kilcoban Cove just to say hello to Andrew. Really nice to see Andrew, not seen him for quite a while. So we had a quick blether with him he was down on the slip, and we were just sculling about at the end of the slip, just keeping ourselves clear of it. And then we just went a few hundred metres along and dropped anchor and waited for the tide. But while we were waiting,
we had a few visitors.
Yeah.
Notably it was the crew of Sea Pigeon and their dog Hero.
Aye, what a hero is.
Yeah, he was cool. He was a greyhound lurcher cross thing. He was a big dog too, not a little dog. So
they were in their dinghy.
Yeah, they popped over to say hello, and they were telling us that they had gone round the Lizard earlier that day and retreated back for some safety because they were struggling in their
33 foot
foot
with
boat
an engine.
With an engine, and they just said that it was 3 metres swell, and they'd said, don't even try until tomorrow.
Aye.
So
we never listened.
So we didn't listen. Because we could see with the binoculars and things that the white water had substantially come down, and we were keen to make progress because it looked like it was going to be a good night if we could get round the Lizard to thing. But it just happened to be a Tuesday night as well, and at 6:30 the Lizard lifeboat launched down their slipway.
With an awesome view of that.
Really, really impressive. That was on my bucket list of things to actually see and do. It's kind of one of the iconic lifeboat stations, I think, with its slipway launch. So it was quite a good day. The crew came over and had a blether as well. So.
They launched their Y boat just off the end of the slipway after the lifeboat had launched, that is. And so the Y boat is the daughter craft that the Tamar carries in it. The two crew in it came over first and had a wee blether. They went off and did their thing, and then the Tamar class came over as well. We had a quick blether with them, and they'd said that slack water at the end of the Lizard was bang on high water Lizard, so we decided to go and tackle that, which just happened to be in about 15-20 minutes from that time. So
pulled the anchor and off we went.
Yeah. Now the Lizard had a bit of a bite or a sting in its tail, or however you want to say it, but the first part was fine. We got around past Bass Point, and it was just, we were going great with a wee bit of tide helping us, and
then for the dot followers amongst you, you'd have seen that dot heading south.
Yeah,
and then a little bit more south.
we had to alter course a wee bit to go around some outlying rocks, and that's on the western tip, the western edge of the tip of the Lizard. So as we sort of went around the rocks, and there was a bit of fishing gear as well, we couldn't get back in. The tide was just pumping us southwards, and it did not matter what we did, how hard we rowed, what direction we pointed in the boat in. We were pointing westward the whole time, but the boat was going south, and there was nothing we could do but keep rowing.
Row hard.
If we stopped rowing, we were going back the way, and we didn't want that. So for what, best part of 3 hours, was it? 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours.
We rowed and didn't go in the direction that we were intending to go, and we kept going because we knew that the tide would turn eventually, and it wasn't putting us into a place of danger. It was, you know, just putting us somewhere that we didn't want to be, because it meant we had to row longer.
Yeah, but it was still big jabbly seas as well. It wasn't as if it was just nice flat calm water to be in as well. So it was really quite hard work, and
it was quite soul destroyed, really, and
mentally draining as well. But eventually we got back on track and had quite a hard row.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, was it? It was especially after the absolute draining that we got there, just with what had happened at the Lizard there. It just seemed to go on forever, and it was a through the night row, and they're particularly at midnight to 2 o'clock, something like that, or is it the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock? I can't remember, but there's one of them's just, it's horrible.
Again, there's the darkness.
Your body's just
it's hard,
crying out for sleep, and
you want to sleep and
you need to keep going. I've developed a technique. I have a quick look around every so often, and then I can row with my eyes closed as long as the auto tiller's on, and you get away with it because we're going so slow. You can actually close your eyes and row, and there's something quite nice about doing that.
We're not advocating that you get on your boat and close your eyes.
No. You rule the road and all. You are keeping a lookout, and it's not taking chances. And there's fishing gear and all sorts crops up on you, so you have to keep your wits about you. But you can just momentarily close your eyes, and it gives you a little bit of rest, even though you're not resting, obviously. And then so we kept going. We rode through the night. We got to Lamorna Cove, which is it's between Tatterdoo Lighthouse and Mousel, Penlee Point, Mousel sort of area, and that's where the old Penlee lifeboat was stationed before it got moved to Newland. But the cove itself, I think it's actually an old quarry, or part of an old quarry, and the cove was where I think they shipped granite out or something like that. But it's it was pitch dark when we arrived, so pretty much threw the anchor over the side, and we got, what was it, 2-3 hours sleep, was it? 2 hours sleep, and then we had to
sleep, and then had to get up, or we were going to miss the window for getting round Land's End.
And that was a really, really important window for us. We needed to get round Land's End. The wind was due to freshen later on in the day, and it was quite a tight window, and we wanted to go for it because we're fed up with delays. So we pushed, and we made it. We got around the point at Land's End, and there's some photos that the National Coast Watch Institute, so the NCI, have got a lookout station just above Land's End, so they were actually looking out as we went past, and really nice post they put on their Facebook page, and some nice photos of us roaring through yet more overfalls, and they were quite lively overfalls too.
Most of us were actually quite good fun though.
It's different in the daytime when
you can see what's coming behind you. And
and you can see past them as well. You know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, so you know you're going to get through the other side. But that in itself is a milestone and a half, because it feels like we've been on the south coast for a long time, And
that's because we have been on the south coast for
yeah,
a long,
but
long time.
it shouldn't be one of the longest legs. It's distance-wise, it's, you know, the east coast and the west coast are the longest legs, and it's yeah, it's just it's an achievement getting round.
Yeah, it felt like a weight was lifted off his shoulders just getting round.
Yeah.
But that was really short-lived.
Yeah.
Because Mother Nature just came to remind us not to get too cocky.
Yeah.
And the heavens opened in spectacular
it
style,
did.
and then it's pretty much rained.
It was actually it was like 5 minutes after rounding Land's End. That's when the rain started.
It was literally as we came round. So celebrations were short-lived.
So waterproof's on, and well, we had them on going round Land's End because we knew there were some overfalls. I made that mistake previously, and that was at the Lizard, in fact.
Yep, and you got wet.
I was wearing shorts and t-shirt, and a wave came over, and my shorts are the best thing ever. They're waterproof shorts. Everyone's probably laughing at my waterproof shorts, thinking, what do you need waterproof shorts for? But when your seat's wet, it's actually quite good. So I've been wearing them a lot. The big downside of them is when you get a big gopper of a wave that comes over the bow and hits you on the back, and it goes down the top of your shorts, you're then sitting in a puddle of water and it's got nowhere to go. So for the remainder of the row across from the Lizard, I was just sopping wet.
But we did see a sunfish.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
They're sunfish, worth looking up. Google a sunfish. They're weird looking creatures, but they've got a big dorsal that sticks out of the water, and they're commonly mistaken for sharks.
I thought it was a dead shark to start with.
And it was within a metre of the boat, and it was just doing what sunfish do and really clumsily swimming along.
But it was kind of cool to see.
And they're quite rare as well, so it was quite special. The last time I saw one, in fact, was down that same bit of water on passage on a lifeboat.
So we carried on. We made it to Sennen Cove.
Yeah.
In the pouring rain. But we got a guard of welcome from the
lifeguards came
lifeguards
out. Lifeguarded beach in Sennen, and in the pouring rain, the guys are blasting about in their jet ski, doing a bit of training, and they came over just inquisitive. They didn't know who we were or anything. They came over just to get the crack, and it was really nice to have a blather with them. They were genuinely interested when we told them what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so then we nipped in as shallow as we could to get the anchor. And Sennen's quite a tight little spot anyway. We anchored. I phoned the lifeboat station just to check we weren't going to be in their way, and Ollie the coxswain just said, well, if you can see the leading marks up on the cliff, as long as you're clear of them, you're fine. And we were actually on them, so we lifted the anchor and moved a little bit just so we didn't get run over if they got a shout.
Yeah, it wasn't very. Besides the rain in there, there's a lot of swell and things still running in there as well, so it wasn't really the most relaxing of nights. But we knew the wind was going to get up, so it was just to make sure that we were in a kind of place of safety.
Yeah, relative shelter. Yeah.
Because it was nowhere further up the coast either.
So it wasn't the most peaceful of nights. We bedded down, got going again quite sharp in the morning to push on along the coast, and it was thick fog when we woke, we decided to delay it an hour, because an hour later than that it was due to lift a little bit, which in fairness it did, but it was still utterly miserable. It rained the first half of the day, so we kind of ran out of steam at one point when the tide had turned, and I've forgotten the name of the lighthouse that we came around. We came around the headland, and it was speed just seemed to drop, and it was an hour earlier than it should have. I think there was a sort of local anomaly with the tide, so
it was a bit.
We slogged on for a wee bit against the tide and just dropped anchor in like 25 metres of water, and just got a little bit of rest and waited for the tide to turn again. And by the time we got up again, it was a different day altogether. Sun was out.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was dry, and we pushed on to, where do we go next?
A little cove, nice quiet cove that we just stopped in for the night with a couple of seals for company.
We'd originally thought of stopping at St Ives, but because we were still making good time, we pushed on past St Ives. and it's around a little headland called Navax Point, and appropriately next to a little tiny cove called Hell's Mouth. So in that little bay was a couple of seals that were quite friendly. They came fairly close, but all we were interested in was getting our dinner and getting some sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
That's what we did. And then we got up this morning and we pushed on to Newquay. We had a visitor at
Perranporth Beach.
Perranporth. We had another lifeguard come out to see us.
Aye.
They were quite intrigued with what we were and what we were doing, so that was really nice. And then
Hollywell Bay.
Hollywell, we dropped anchor there for a couple of hours just to wait for the tide to get round the headland. We had a good few visits there.
Aye, two
couple
visits
of times
from the
they came out in the
lifeguards.
RNLI boat to have a...
And the second lot came out and
they brought
we've got
sweeties.
sweets for you. We must thank you, but we can't take them.
Yeah, so they took the sweeties home.
Very kind of them.
So we hope they
obviously.
enjoyed the sweeties tonight. They look like nice sweeties too.
Yeah, so we're here now in Newquay and we've got a big day tomorrow. We're getting an early night tonight because tomorrow we're heading for Wales.
We've had our entertainment as well. Watched a bit of gig racing, which was really great until one of them actually struck our boat.
Yeah.
So we're just hoping that there's no damage there. But yeah, onwards to
Wales
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It'll probably take us a couple of days to get across.
Oh, we saw another sunfish too.
Oh yeah, so we did. Yeah. Aye, one of the rare sights. 2 sunfish.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, I think that's all the excitement of the day.
I think so. I think it's time to...
Lifeguards, a sunfish, and a gig race. It's quite good going for
It's not bad.
a day.
Aye, not bad at all. Well, the next time we speak to you we'll be in Wales.
Hopefully.